Hey, brothers and sisters, it's midnight out here, but I just wanted to show y'all a little glimpse of what Oahu looks like at night and how wonderfully beautiful it is. Let me see if I can turn off the flash. Well, I don't know if I can right now, but whatever. It's beautiful, ain't it? And then on the flip side of that, you got. I mean, you guys aren't gonna be, somehow, unless it's gonna adapt. You can kind of see that mountain edge line, like kind of going. Well, my fingers butchered it. Never mind, just kidding. But nonetheless, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just this type of view. I'm walking through the the mountains and the wilderness, and I just want to encourage you all to start spending time with God, man. Like you gotta get in tune with the God that's within. You know, the kingdom is within. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. God is within you, you know. Your body is a house, and he wants to dwell in that house. He sits and knocks at the door. He wants to come and reside with you. And it's just really so simple of, are you going to open up the door and let him in? And I get at certain times, it might feel mighty tempting to have him leave, so then the house can be unoccupied and you can have other guests, and maybe guests that you know he wouldn't be pleased of, right? It'd be like having, you know, you're living at your home with your dad or your single parent, and you know your single parent's gonna be gone for 3 days, and now you're sitting here with this temptation of inviting over somebody of the opposite sex so they can hang out, right? We do that all the time. We want our quote unquote parent to leave, in a sense, thinking that that's freedom. That now that parent's gone, I can do what I want. Not knowing that really you're just kind of getting your own heart exposed to yourself. That the only reason you haven't been doing this is because somebody was watching over you. But in this, you can kind of see this beautiful contrast, though. That, yeah, God is watching over you. And yeah, God does know your heart. And he says it's wickedly deceitful. Who can know it? And so, while God is knocking on the door to come into your heart, also the enemy is too. So he's gracious and merciful to know that the moment he pulls himself away and he is kind of hidden from you, he knows how strong those temptations are to go back into what's called a familiar place or a certain temptation. He knows. He knows what a test is. He creates the test. He knows like what it's like when you're moving and all of a sudden he's absent. He's removed his spirit. He's not giving you clear answers and or revelation, and the temptation to let the one person that is at the door in is very strong, and that temptation is the flesh. And it can come in all different formats for each person, but nonetheless, he's testing you. And he's told you this. What is faith without being tested? And now I get, we know that. But we don't understand sometimes when that test comes, it's going to burn. That fire is going to burn. And it's going to hurt. And it's going to bring suffering at levels that you have not perceived. And you have to learn how to channel that pain. If you don't learn how to channel that pain, it will break you and you will fold. And you will go back and you will open the door to that familiar spirit or that familiar place of just death. But if you can sit in it and embrace it, you can learn how to hone that fear, that energy into something beautiful. Because it's a fire, right? And that's why he tells you Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That's that fear. It's present. I prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. It's present, but in it being present, you can find God. But you have to be willing to go into the unknown, in the pain. And I know most churches aren't preaching or telling you this, but it's in the pain, man. He's told you this. If the world's persecuted me, it will persecute you because you're of him. You know, if you want to receive the glory of God, you must suffer as Christ did. And then he tells you not only are you going to suffer, but he tells you how to handle it. He says, rejoice in your suffering, because suffering brings endurance. Endurance brings character. Character brings hope, and it will not allow you to be ashamed. So I say all these things because there's certain parts in your heart that you haven't been allowing God to test because you've shut him out. You might have let him in your house in a sense, right? The front door. But you're only allowing him in the living room, in the kitchen. Maybe your guest bathroom. But he's coming to occupy the entire house. So there's no need to be ashamed of your closet, your bedroom, the garage, all of it. He's going to see it anyway. He will one day illuminate all of it. So if you're willing to address all the pain, all the backsliding, all the backsliding, all the betrayal, all the hypocrisy, the contradictions, the whoring, the unforgiven anger and sin against others, the bitterness, the resentment, the envy, the jealousy, the strife, the hatred. If you're willing to just vomit it up before him and let it get out, like we're talking casting those evil spirits out, just within your heart, he can move just like that. Just from your heart, are you willing to let him in? And he will purify. He will sanctify. He will restore and redeem and justify you in the midst of all creation. There is not a being that exists that can stand against the authority of the Most High God. He says, how blessed is he or she whose sins are not counted against them. Therefore, he's telling you in a sense, I know you have sins, but the way I operate, I know you don't have sins because I blotted them out like a thick cloud, like a heavy mist. But you must believe these things. You must have faith. I do care, but I don't care if you just fell 5 minutes ago. I don't care if you're still sitting in your depression right now. I'm telling you, you gotta get up in your mind, renew your mind daily. Believe that you can still do it. Don't quit. Keep reading the word. I know you're tired. Keep praying. Change up your schedule and find him. There's something in your soul that he's telling you for this video for, to go do it. Whatever it is, you know it. I know you know it. You gotta do it. If you don't go do it, you're never gonna get to experience the glory of who he is, not nearly to the magnitude, and there's so much more to explore. But nonetheless, I encourage y'all. I love you. Keep hope, keep faith, and keep love above all things. Don't give up, okay? God bless and take care.